Hi everyone, it's Marion here. Today I'm sharing a time lapse of my latest commission, Oscar, a beautiful Bichon Frise. Oscar had lived a long and full life, but sadly passed away not long before this commission came in. His mum asked me to create this as a surprise gift for her husband, and you can imagine what an emotional honour that is, to paint someone's beloved pet, especially after they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge. As always, I begin this portrait using quite a detailed underpainting, which really does establish the drawing as well as all the tonal values on this painting, and it really does create a map for me for adding the colour layers later on. This may feel like quite a bit of extra work, but I actually really do enjoy this entire process of doing the underpainting. It allows me to really get familiar with the subject and really learn all about Oscar and sort of get to know him through the paint really. And I thoroughly enjoy sort of starting a portrait this way. This portrait is 11 by 14 inches on a very smooth canvas board that I've really prepared with several layers of gesso. I really do like working on a smooth surface these days, and that allows me to get really fine brush strokes. Once my underpainting is completely dry, I'll begin on first colour layers, and nearly always I start in the eyes. I really like to engage with the portrait from the start, so beginning with the eyes and sort of capturing that personality in the eyes really does sort of allow me to feel like I've got a little bit of company throughout the whole painting process. There's really something about white dogs, isn't there? Sort of gentle presence, like little clouds with eyes. But don't be fooled, they are actually quite a challenge to paint. I think the real secret is saving your tonal best for last. So even though it looks as though I'm applying white paint, certainly in the highlighted areas, it's far from white at this very early stage. I always save my tonal best, the pure bright white highlights, for that final layer. I worked from a reference photo and I was very lucky to have a wonderful photograph which we'd agreed upon. But I did also enjoy seeing some of the other photographs of Oscar, so I could really capture some of his personality. You're not really just painting what's in that photo. You're painting who they were, capturing a memory of a special loved one. What I particularly loved about painting Oscar was actually using a complementary colour scheme. Even though you're seeing this as a white dog, in the highlighted side of the fur on that left hand side, I actually added touches of blue to the white paint. And then over on that shadow side, the colours are much warmer. So using touches of burnt sienna and even little bits of orange. So it was a real complementary colour scheme. When it comes to working on that background, I add my darks in first and then I add a lot of the lights around that. And then later you'll see me going back with a mop and absolutely blurring this. I really wanted to make sure Oscar was the centre of attention and make sure we almost had that out of focus background in the back so that he really came forward in that painting. You'll also notice there's quite a lot of that background colour influencing the colours on Oscar's fur, and I'm very conscious about that and wanting to make sure that I add some of that background colour into the fur. I absolutely love painting pets, and not many people know this, but when I originally opened my business, it was called MazArt Pet Portraits, and the idea that I was going to just do pet portraits and not much else. So how I ended up sort of doing teaching over the years and painting absolutely all sorts, because pets really still are my first love. I think every pet brings something to a home that nothing else can. A kind of quiet loyalty, a presence that fills the corner of every room, even when they're asleep. That's certainly true of my two boys anyway. Frankie and Finley, my two King Charles Cavaliers. They're nearly 12 and honestly I can't imagine my life without them, even though I know we are getting to that stage now where, they're a little bit slower than they were. I still feel ever so lucky to have them every day with me. So when I'm actually painting someone else's dog and someone else's fur baby, it's very personal always. So you're seeing a snapshot in 18 minutes of what's actually taken around about 18 to 20 hours over several weeks. And here you can see those final pops of light. So again, it looked white before, but when you actually put the final white on the top, you can really see the difference. So again, whenever you're painting white or even black fur, you never want to use your tonal best. You want to save those for the final details. So if you're watching this and thinking you'd like a portrait of your beloved pet, whether they're still with you or already gone, I do have commissions open at the moment, and you can find all the details over on my Marion Dutton Fine Art website or through the MazArt Academy. And of course, if you are interested in my processes and would like to learn how to paint pets for yourself, do be sure to check out my Beginner's Ultimate Pet Portrait course and also my more recent Intermediate Pet Portrait course. And both are available on my Academy, and I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. And a big thank you to Oscar's mum for choosing me as her commission artist. It was really quite an honour to paint this beautiful boy. I hope the portrait brings you lots of happy memories.